Louis Vuitton is about to drop their latest release of their collaboration with Kusama. You guys know how much I love an artist collaboration, and Kusama is one of my favorites that they've done. And I have scoured the internet and collected all the images I can find. I also have information from a variety of sources, and I'm sharing all of it, well, almost all of it, with you today so you can be prepared and figure out what you want to get from this collection. I've seen about 7 or 8 distinct designs, so I'm going to share those with you, tell you what's available in terms of bags and SLGs, that's small leather goods, from each of those 7 or 8 designs. And there are also some one-offs that I'll tell you about, and some thoughts and observations on these, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about them, so stay tuned. Hi YouTube, Autumn Beckman here. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My channel is all about luxury living on a budget, from high-end luxury handbags and small goods to the everyday luxuries of life. If that sounds interesting to you, please make sure you subscribe, click the bell notification icon to be notified when I post new videos, and be sure to like the videos that you enjoy. And one of the perks of subscribing to this channel is you get to see my community post on your YouTube homepage, where I post deals, discount codes, sales, and rare finds related to these beautiful things we love. I'm wearing polka dots today. Can you see the polka dots? In honor of this latest release from Louis Vuitton and Kusama. There's a release that I love years ago. I have one piece from it, and I know there's a date code on here somewhere, but I don't, oh, there it is. Let's see. Oh, it's hard to read. I think it's 2012 is when this came out. Here it is up close. And then there's the back of it with her signature. And I've always wanted a never full from that collection as well. Can't decide if I want the white or the yellow. Pretty sure I want the yellow because of the amazing interior on that. So when I started hearing that Louis Vuitton was collaborating again with Kusama, I got very excited because this is one of my favorite collections from them. Now I'm hearing there are 3 different releases for the current collection that's happening. One of them already happened, that was back in December of 2022. One is about to happen, the one that I'm talking about in this video. It's supposed to drop in stores on March 31st. And then the next drop I've heard is going to be sometime in the fall of 2023. I don't have any information on that yet. The collection that dropped in December, I wasn't a big fan of. Also, I want to address that once that dropped, I started seeing stories and hearing in social media that Kusama has made some quite racist comments. That is something I'm not addressing in this video, but I'm considering addressing it in another video. So let me know if you're interested in hearing my thoughts on that. I've started to collect some things, but I'm not convinced yet that I have enough to say about it to do a video. I need to do more research on it. There's a lot going on there. There's a lot to process, but I just wanted to at least mention that so that we're aware of that. And if you're interested in learning more, you can at least go do your own research on it. But yeah, let me know if you'd like to hear my thoughts on that. I'm also not going to be talking about her artwork in this video. I'm just talking about the pieces that are dropping in this collection. But I will say that that December drop, I was not a fan of how the collaboration happened and what came out of that. The designs weren't very creative in my opinion. I am, however, much more excited about this collection. There are also some pretty wacky things that some of you may have already seen. Let's go ahead and jump right in. So I'm going over bags and small goods. There are also lots of other pieces, jewelry, scarves, ready-to-wear, shoes. I will mention up front there are 3 bottles of perfume. There's a Trap Rev, Spell on You, those are both from the women's collection, and then from the men's side is La Immensity. And each of those, we'll scoot over and show you a picture of this. Each of those has designs from the collection on the bottles and on the paper containers that the bottles come in. I will also say up front that I had planned to give you some pricing information, but I got pricing from several different sources that I talked to and a few places online, and it's not all consistent. So I'm not going to give pricing information here just because I don't want to give you the wrong information. I haven't nailed down for sure what the prices are going to be. I can give you a ballpark of some of the information I have though on a couple pieces. Editing Autumn here. Don't be alarmed by the frozen image on your screen. I am just doing the voiceover on my phone here because I've already changed clothes. I'm in my pajamas and I don't want to film myself, but I did want to say a couple of things that I noticed while I'm editing. One, in the video on the top left, there's an empty shelf Don't be bothered by that. The bag that's usually there is what I'm using right now, so that's why it's missing. Number 2. And Vincent says hi. Number 2. Pre-orders for this collection are now open, so if you have a sales associate at Louis Vuitton, go ahead and get in touch with them and you should be able to order from them. If you don't have an associate, please feel free to reach out to my associate, Becca, at the Louis Vuitton at the Houston Galleria. She's in the main store there, and I will have her contact information linked below, and she will help you if she can. I know sometimes there are issues with new clients for various reasons, so if she's not able to help, it's not because she doesn't want to. Third thing, I will put up images of the items I'm talking about when I can. Some of the images I've been asked not to use, so if that's one of those, then I won't put it up. I may put up an image of the regular item that's not part of the Kusama collection, so if I do that, just know that that's what that is. Now back to pre-recorded autumn. Okay, let's start with the bags and small goods from the women's collection, and then we'll look at the men's side, which, just like in the December drop, I like better. On the women's side, they have 2 designs that are on monogram backgrounds. The first is this, the pumpkins. I love this line, they're fabulous. I will say in a lot of the pictures that we have seen so far, we only see this. We see the monogram with the like red and orange colored pumpkins, but almost all, if not all of these pieces, if you turn them around, they have blue and green pumpkins on the back, which is going to be news to some of you who've only seen the monogram with the red pumpkins. So be aware that any photos that I'm showing here are going to have the blue pumpkins on the other side as well. I will also say some information that I was given, I was asked not to share, so I am going to be respectful and not share that. However, there was some overlap between that information and information I had already found from other places online, so I will show the things that I saw online. All right, in terms of this design and the handbags, here's what they've released. The on-the-go in both the PM and the MM size. What I have seen in pricing there is that they are the same price. The MM is no more expensive than the PM. And of course, these will be more expensive than if you just got the plain monogram pieces. And check out the interiors on these. In this print, they tend to have this pink and blue spotted interior, which is so cool. Love it. There's also a Neverfull. There's also a Neo Noe MM, a Speedy 20, a Bologna, how do you say that, in the MM size. This is a crossbody bag, and it has a crossbody vachetta strap and a chain strap. A Sac Plat in the smallest size, I think that's called the Petite Sac Plat. And the Felici. And what you'll notice about the Felici here is it usually has a triangular flap on the front. This one doesn't, because that would have cut the pumpkins in half. So instead they did a full flap on this, and you don't have a button on the front either that gets in the way of the pumpkin design. For SLGs, those small leather goods, we have the Rami card holder, or Romy card holder. There's a Zippy wallet and a Sarah wallet, both full size. And here the Sarah wallet, same thing with the Felici. Instead of the triangular flap on the front, you have a full flap. There's also the small cosmetic, the domed one. I believe that has a pink interior. And we also have luggage and trunks. In terms of luggage, we have a Keepall 45. We have the Horizon 55, which is the rolling luggage. We have a jewelry box trunk that has space for 4 or 6 watches. I don't remember. The Coffret accessories is what that's called. And there's a Cotteville 40, which is a suitcase trunk. And there's the piece de resistance, the giant trunk. They did this in a Kusama version with the pumpkins, and that is amazing and beautiful. And Winnie and I have decided, I will have her channel linked below if you don't know Winnie BLV. She's hilarious and amazing, and my next video is going to be a collaboration with her. We have decided that we are going to go in with each other and buy that trunk, just halvesies, and every month we'll ship it back and forth to each other so we can each enjoy it. It looks like that's going to run close to $100,000. No big deal. So that was the first design that they put on monogram for the women's line. The second is what I'm calling amoeba faces. And these come from very colorful paintings that Kusama did. They're a little out of place on the monogram background, maybe a lot out of place, because the original paintings are on these brightly colored backgrounds with other designs on them. And I was a little confused when I was first seeing images from this, because some have this crazy face on them, and then some have a fish on them. And I didn't know if those are 2 different designs that both have smaller amoeba faces around them, but the impression I'm getting is that it is all the same design. So if you have a piece that has the fish on it, you're also going to get the amoeba face most likely, and vice versa there. This print is on more than just monogram. I'll get to that in a minute, but in terms of the monogram bags, we have the Neverfull, the Speedy Bee 25, the On The Go in the size, and we also have these toiletry pouches, and you actually get 2 pouches together. I don't have measurements on these, but I think it's the 26 size and the 15 size. That's my guess based on looking at them together. They come with a crossbody strap, and it looks like they also connect to each other where you can wear them both at the same time, kind of like the multi-pochette, which is a pretty interesting design. And then you can flip each one around and have a different design on the other side. Now this design, especially with that one giant face with the crazy hair, is not something that I would buy. Most people that I've seen talk about it online don't like it at all and think it's really nuts and weird. Some find it disturbing. I think it's really fun. I like it. It's just not something for me, you know, in terms of a bag that I'm wearing around. If it didn't have that giant face and it just had the fish and smaller faces, I'd be cooler with it. But the giant face with the hair, that just kind of ruins it for me. It's just because it's so big, I think. The smaller ones, I'm liking those bright colors. They're fun. I know Kusama is Japanese, but the color palette that she's using in this reminds me of some of the Mexican, the Oaxacan art that I collect. So maybe that's why I'm drawn to it. I also like science and amoeba things, so there's that too. This might also come in an Alma BB. One thing that I was seeing when I was doing research is different places would have some different images. So until everything actually drops, which is supposed to be on March 31st, we won't know for sure what we're getting in whatever country we're in. But I did see an Alma BB with this print at some point. Whether it ends up in production, I don't know. There's also a Capucines in this collection, and this doesn't seem to have the giant face. It just has smaller faces all over it. It's on a white leather. All these Capucines are going to be very expensive, like over $10,000. So if you like them, be aware of that. There are also 2 bag charms I've seen in this collection. One is that wacky face with the hair, and the other is the fish. I like the fish, but I will warn you, the bag charms in this collection are extremely expensive. Like I said, I don't have final prices, but think upwards of $600 for a bag charm. They're just a piece of leather and another piece of leather, or maybe they're even canvas that's painted on one side and leather on the other. I don't know. The fish one is really cute. The pumpkins and the fish and faces will also be on the men's line, but in a different way, and I think better ways. So I'm going to tell you about that in a minute, but let's finish up with what's available in the women's line, because you get a lot more in the women's line. If you're familiar with Kusama, you may know she's famous for the dots. A lot of people tend to reduce her work. I saw this in a lot of the comments that I was reading critiquing these pieces, that they're just dots, or she has no talent, blah, blah, blah. Anybody can paint dots. My kid can do that. All that stuff, right? That's coming from people who have not bothered to look any deeper than the surface level of what they see. If you go into her art, which I'm not doing any kind of deep dive in this video, you'll find that it's art therapy for her. It connects to her mental illness, it connects to hallucinations that she's done, and it just goes so much deeper than just dots. That said, that's what she's famous for. So of course, just like the last 2 collections that Louis Vuitton has released with Kusama, there are pieces with dots. They're in 3 different colorways this time. One is a blue background with white dots, one is white with red dots, and one is black with fuchsia dots. Let's start with the white and red dots. I've seen a sac plat in these, and all of these dots are leather bags, so they're going to be more expensive. So the sac plat, the Neo Noe BB, the Alma BB, now this one comes with a pumpkin bag charm, so you get a little more for your money. You can this time around buy the bag charms separately. You couldn't do that in the last release. I will get to that later. Boy, are they expensive. The Twist PM, the Clooney Mini, that also comes with a pumpkin bag charm. And I've also seen a Zippy coin. And I don't remember if that was the big one. I think it was a small one. Yeah, not the Zippy wallet, the Zippy coin, the small one. Now the blue with the white dots, I think this will be one of the more popular lines from this collection. They have the Speedy Bee 20. This comes with a pumpkin bag charm and a braided leather and metal strap. The On The Go in the PM size with a pumpkin bag charm. The Nano Noe, and I've seen a Rosalie wallet and a Zippy wallet. That would be the bigger size. Now the black background with the fuchsia dots, I think this is going to be super popular. I think of all three, this is probably going to sell out first. And I would note this has silver hardware. I feel like the other two do as well. This comes in the On-the-Go MM, the multi-pochette with a pumpkin bag charm, the Neverfull with a pumpkin bag charm, the Pochette Matisse, the Felici, and a Victorine wallet. And if you don't want to pay the bag or the SLG prices, but you really love this print, they're also doing a 140 centimeter shawl, which I think will be around $1,000. And the last thing we'll talk about in the women's line, then we'll move to men's, and then we'll sort of go back to women's for the one-offs, where they only released one or a couple of pieces in a certain collection. The Flowers collection. Now, personally, when I look at these, I see quilts that I had as a child. That's what this reminds me of. I don't like these myself. I think a lot of people will like them, but these will also be more expensive because they are on leather bags only. There are scarves and a few other things that have the flowers, though, if you really want something with the flowers but can't spend handbag money. So we have the Neverfull MM, that's on an off-white empreinte leather. The Speedy B25, that's on a black empreinte leather. The On The Go, I'm not sure which size this is on black empreinte. And we have it in two capucines, the Mini and the BB. The Mini on a light blue, and then the BB is available both in black and in that off-white color. Now let's move to the men's line, where my favorite pieces reside. On the women's side, we saw Monogram with the pumpkins and with the amoeba faces and fish. On the men's side, we see the same collections, but on Monogram Eclipse Reverse. I think the pumpkins are gorgeous on this background. I love it. Plus you don't have vachetta if you're somebody who doesn't like vachetta, worrying about all that. My favorite bag in the entire release is this Keep All 25 bandolier. Isn't it beautiful? Don't the blue pumpkins work just perfectly on that Monogram Eclipse Reverse? That is a mouthful. Gorgeous. Now keep in mind that this is just like what we saw in the Monogram on the women's side, where when you turn the bag around, you have the other colored pumpkins. That colorway I don't like as much on this Eclipse. They've also released this in the Maxi Bum Bag, a Weekend Tote, the Discovery Backpack, and a Trio Messenger with a pumpkin coin. So the pumpkin bag charm and the pumpkin coin are different things. One is just a bag charm, just like the charm that I have where it's two-sided, that's it. The pumpkin coin has a front and back, but in the middle there's a zipped coin section that opens up and you can keep whatever in there. They also have this design in the Pochette Voyage, which appears to be like the Toiletry 26. A Gaston wearable wallet, this comes with the pumpkin coin as well. A pocket organizer, a card holder. It may come in some kind of zipped wallet, and it comes in the slender wallet, which is the bifold wallet. For luggage, this comes in the Keep All 55 and the Horizon 55. So those Keep Alls with the pumpkins, on the women's side, I want to point out it's a Keep All 45. On the men's side, it's a Keep All 55. Now to the amoeba faces and fish design. That's on the men's side too, but over here, it's on this light blue leather, an empreinte monogram leather. And this does have silver hardware. They're releasing this in the Hobo Cruiser MM, which is a very cool looking bag. It has this little fold over top with a clip and looks like a crossbody strap. Again, the Maxi Bum Bag, the multi-pocket backpack, the Weekend Tote again, the Keep All, this time in the size 50 centimeter, another pocket organizer, and a multiple wallet. I've also seen it in something like a flat pouch, like the Daily pouch, with a wristlet strap, but I don't know if that one's being released. Now for the one-offs. These are some interesting special pieces that they didn't do whole collections on, they just did a couple of pieces. The most expensive ones are going to be these two Capucines bags, a BB in pink and white and an MM size in black and white. Now these probably look odd. What they are is flowers made up of dots, but they're blown up. If you're familiar with a copy machine, you remember those? One of the things I did as a kid for one of my art projects was make a copy of something and then blow it up and make a copy of that and blow it up and make a copy and blow it up. And by the end of it, sort of like zooming in on something with pixels on your computer, you just see a bunch of dots. It really distorts it. And that's basically what this is. The original artwork that this came from is giant flowers made up of these dots, and this is a little piece of that. Now, I talked earlier about the pumpkin bag charms and the pumpkin coin holders. In the December release, a lot of people complained that you couldn't buy those separately. They only came on certain bags. Well, this time, thank you Louis Vuitton, they've released them separately, but they're making you pay a very high price for them. The bag charm, from what I've seen, is coming in 3 different colorways, all bright colors, and I think they all have blue tones in them, but one has yellow with a little pink stem, and one is blue on blue, and one is something else. There's also a coin purse you can buy. I think that's only in 1 colorway, but again, I would expect to pay upwards of $600 or $700 for the bag charms and upwards of $800 for the coin pouch. The piece de resistance from this collection, the one for collectors only, the very most expensive piece you'll find next to some of the trunk pieces, is this incredible yellow pumpkin, which I would die to have in my collection, but it will never happen, I'm sure. Fingers crossed, our friend Meredith of Living Lux with Meredith will get one of these because she has an incredible collection, and if she can get her hands on one, I don't even know if she's interested in it, but I would imagine she is because she likes the Kusama pieces too. If she can get her hands on one, we can at least live vicariously through her. I heard from one source that these are available only by invitation. So you actually have to be invited by Louis Vuitton to even have the opportunity to consider purchasing this bag. Very, very limited quantities, I'm certain. And like I said, there are lots of other pieces, but this, as far as I've been able to tell, is all of the handbags and the small goods that are being released March 31st from what I understand. So I hope you enjoyed this, I hope it was informative, and I hope it helps you to plan your purchases. Please let me know what you think about this collection. Which is your favorite? Do you like any of them? Or is it just dots to you? I would encourage you to think more deeply than that. Thank you so much for watching, I do appreciate it. Hope to see you back here next time for my collaboration with Winnie, and I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye.